Guys, I am not making this up. I'm going to play the Cadillac of poker today. I'm going to the Mecca of poker, St. Louis, Missouri. So we're going right now. The next time you see me, I'll be walking into the hotel. Get out of here, tree. It's 5 hours later, and we are mere moments away from playing the Cadillac of poker.
Here we go. I'm opening up in middle position with ace-9 of spades, and it's going to fold all the way over to the small blind, who's my buddy, Pete. Now Pete has a lot of money. He plays the fantasy football, you know, the one where you pick like a whole bunch of lineups or whatever. Well, he won one of those once for like hundreds of thousands of dollars, but he's still kind of a nitbag in poker, and that doesn't make much sense at all. Here, I bet $15 after flopping top pair, and he calls, and he could have a straight draw, a flush draw, he could have a combination of both. So when he checks the turn, I'm definitely going to fire out a bet, try to get called, try to get value out of those draws, and then see what happens on the river. So he makes the call, so everything's going fine. The river card comes, and it's going to be the deuce of spades. Now, he's probably not going to call a bet, no matter what he has, if he's got the missed flush draw. So I'm just going to fire out $115, see what happens. And he makes the fold. He actually says that he has king 7, and since he flips it over and shows everybody, I actually believe him. So I got a little suck out there. Sorry, Pete. In hand number 2, I am faced with a $20 middle position raise. I look down at pocket 9s. I don't watch hockey because it's a really boring sport. I like things that are fun to watch. And I'm pretty sure that Wayne Gretzky wore 9-9. So I have the Wayne Gretzky of poker hands. The flop comes, it's 3 ways by the way, 8, 4, and a 6. That's 3/5 of a squidgle. If you don't know what a squidgle is, I'm not going to tell you. You got to know. If you're a poker player, you got to know what a squidgle is. I bet $35 when checked to me. The button snap calls, and then the middle position player folds. We go heads up to a turn card, and it comes a queen. Now, my read in this situation is that my opponent likely has an 8, and that's it. Maybe a hand like 8-7 or 8-5, so he's got like a straight draw to go with it. So when he bets 80 after I check, I go for the check raise, and I'm hoping that he comes along. Now, he thinks forever. Like a super duper long time. And it's kind of a waste of time when you see the hand that he shows up with. You're going to be like, well, why did he wait so long? And that could go, maybe he has a really good hand or a really weak hand. You're just kind of like, why is he waiting? He calls the 300, and we go to the river card, which is going to be a deuce. Now we have 4/5 of a squidgle. He's got $80 left. I throw it out there just to make sure that I have the best hand. I get all the money. But then he flips up queen 8. So that was strange, and I feel like a horse's patoot.
85.
All right, smile.
We on there? 10 more.
I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Private Internet Access. Okay, get this. Private Internet Access is the world's most transparent VPN. In fact, they have a no logs policy. And I'm not talking about wood. I mean, they couldn't tell somebody where you went if they had to. So you log into the VPN, and then Private Internet Access will change your IP address and reroute your traffic through an encrypted tunnel. When I say encrypted tunnel, I mean like a wormhole. Like you're gonna go in here and then out there. Nobody will know what you're up to. Not your internet service provider, not your network admin, not the government censors. And that's privacy. To get the most customizable VPN in the market, get your booty down to my description box below where you can find my link, privateinternetaccess.com/SoRudePoker. You get complete internet privacy for less than $3 a month. You can't afford not to do this. Plus, Private Internet Access is going to throw in 2 free months to my subscribers. So if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, huge Netflix fan. Some countries I go to, you can't watch Netflix. With Private Internet Access, with their VPN, I can binge Manifest to my heart's desire. So do it. Right now, do it. Click the link. Well, watch the video, then click the link. And nobody will even know that you're a So Rude Poker fan.
And number 3 starts off with the under the gun open to $12, and then Pete calls in middle position, and then my buddy Mark, who's a professional pool player, he actually taught Jeanette Lee, I think she's known as the was he the Black Spider or something like that? And I have Jack 10 off too. Wish I would have raised or threw that hand in the muck. Instead, I decided to make the worst possible play and just make the call. Small blind calls, the big blind calls. The big blind is Grace. That's why I put Carrillo DeVille up there, because that makes a lot of sense. And the flop comes 9-6-4. So if one of these people would just bet, I'd get out of the way. But of course, you know that's not possibly going to happen, because they need to find the way that I can lose the most amount of money possible, as that is everybody's goal at the table. They're all just focused on me. Anyway, we check it all the way through. We get to the turn card, which is an 8. Now I pick up equity. Sorry, it's a poker term. I didn't warn you. Equity means that I can win the pot with other cards to come. So it's bet $30 from the small blind, and then Grace in the big blind decides that she's going to call. And then I think like the under the gun player and the middle position, I think everybody just calls, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's the under the gun player making the call. What's Pete do? Pete's got $30 to light on fire. He comes along. Mark's actually the only person that gets out of the way. You think Pete's a nitbag? You should play with Mark. I'm just kidding, Mark. You're a nice guy, but you do, knit it up a little bit. I make the call now with open and straight draw, trying to hit a non-club 7 or queen. Of course, it's a 3 of spades, which, nobody needed. Small blind checks, and then Grace, in her infinite wisdom, decides to throw out 105. And I actually asked her, why do you throw out that 5? Why not just the 100? And she said, because I like to get a little bit extra. That's what she said, and that's how she said it. So Pete folds, and then I obviously am going to fold. I'm not sure what's taking me. So I have to show my neighbor my terrible luck. The small blind then thinks about it for a little bit, decides that he's got a playable hand. He makes the call, the $105. Grace flips over 9-6 of hearts, top 2 pair. Not sure how that hand held, and she wins the entire pot. Here we're looking at an under the gun raise to $15. It gets over to me in the cutoff, and I'm going to look down at pocket sixes, a wired pair, and I decide to make the call. Now the button at this point in the game, I did not know he was squirrely. We're about to find out just how squirrely he is. He makes it $60 to go. Of course, I have pocket sixes, and if it's $60 and I have a pair of sixes, it's kind of like a sign that you probably should call. It's a thing. Look it up. I make the call. We go 3 ways to a flop, where I'm trying to flop you got it, a 6. And the flop comes 4, 5, 6. Now that's a little bit juicier than I would prefer. I'd like a king and a 6 and a deuce or something. We'll take this. It's top set, by the way. Checks over to the button, who's going to fire out a bet. Now this is going to go check, check, check a lot of the time. So maybe betting by me would be better, because if he's got like ace king, he's not going to bet this. So maybe I should bet. But then if he's got ace king, he's not going to call a bet anyway. So I don't know. Checking's probably fine. Button makes it $75. Under the gun folds, and I raise it up to $215, and it gets back over to the button. And he's got to decide what to do with his hand. And he has decided that his hand, he thinks it's better than my hand. He thinks it's a lot better than my hand. He throws in a raise of all in. I obviously call the all in. Turn card's a deuce. River card's an 8, and then he shows that he has 7-8 offsuit, which for me to lose his hand's pretty unlucky, because he had to 3-bet that hand on the button, and he did it. Good him.
Well, things have taken a turn for the worse. I'm down a whole bunch. I'm in for like 2,500. I have 1,300 in front of me. I'm down like a lot for a 2-3 game. And I'm the only loser. Everybody at the table, they're probably pissed I'm gone. Going back, I'm going to try to win my money now. Everybody's gunning for me because they think I'm the fish at the table.
All right, I'm a little dejected now. I can't win a pot to save my life. This is all you guys in the comments who say, you never show a losing session. Well, this is your wet dream, because here we go. I can't win a pot. I'm in the big blind now with the suited ace 10. I decide to get a little bit more action-y and make it $25. Build the pot, try to find something to win so that I can, get my stack back up. Under the gun player makes the call. Looks like the button had previously limped. Now he comes along, the small blind, who completed for another $1. Somehow now he has a $25 hand, and it could just be like an odds thing. Like he's looking like, oh, it's only $22 more, and I could win a pot of 100. Pot odds. Sorry, poker term, my bad. Flops ace, queen, 6. A lot of stuff going on here. We have draws of the spade variety and the straight variety. I bet $50 to, get value from an ace. My ace, I have a pair of aces. That's a really good hand, even though there's 4 people in the pot. And then the squirrely man makes it $125. And I've asked some professional poker players what they would do in this spot. And it's a mix of call and it's a mix of fold. So because I could be up against flush draws, I decided that I'm going to go ahead and make the call here. And now the turn's a deuce. Now I can't beat jack crap for squat. I check, he's going to bet it, and I just think the only thing I can do now, there's not a legitimate hand that, unless if he's got like a jack of hearts and a 5 of diamonds, I can beat that hand, but the odds of that are so slim. He probably has a flush, or he probably has 2 pair. He probably has ace 10 of clubs beaten. If he doesn't, good for him. I throw my hand in the muck. It is time to get out of this hellhole.
In for 2,300, out for 1028, loss of 1272, right? Grace, did I play the pocket nines okay?
You played terribly.
Hello, friends and non-friends. We're going to play the 2-3 no limit hold'em poker game, which is the biggest one they have, and we'll see you in just a few minutes from the table.
Have you ever heard the saying, when you fall off your horse, you try again? That's what we do. That game yesterday was terrible. Let's come back today. Even though my avatar has me in the same shirt, I promise that I did change my shirt. Hijack makes it 20. I'm in the big blind with 6-4 clubs. Nothing has changed from the day before. I don't feel like folding, so I call and I flop bottom 2 pair, which is good because I could be up against an ace. That's why it's kind of unfortunate when it goes check, check. Now the turn card comes in, I'm going to have to do my own bidding now. So I go ahead and I fire out a quarter, $25 bet, hoping to get some action from, I'm still kind of a pipe dream, but I'm hoping he's got an ace. And maybe he does, but he makes 105, so he could have a flush, he could have a straight, he could have a better 2 pair, all sorts of things, all things leaning towards fold. So I call, and we go heads up to a river. Of course, it's heads up. It's been heads up the whole time. What else could it be? And the river's a 6. Now, here's the thing. I cannot allow it to go check, check. That would be horrendous. So I'm just going to throw out a little itsy-bitsy teeny tiny, like a little, come here, daddy, you got to come here, you got to call this bet, come on. Come on, you got to call. What are you going to do? He even says, oh, you're so cheap. And then he asks, he's got to call. So he does. He calls. And then I flip up the full house. I got the 6 and the 4 for the full house. 6 is full of 4s. Boat. They call that a boat. And he mucks his hand. So maybe today will be different than the day before. Maybe I'll win a whole bunch of money. Probably not. The game actually wasn't that good. So this is actually going to be the last hand that I show. I'm only going to show 2 hands from this day. Grace under the gun +1 makes it 15. Hijack calls, button makes it $45. I look down at a wired pair of queens, 2 ladies. I make it $160 to go, assuming that everybody is going to get out of the way, and then I'll just play heads up out of position against the button. Is it ideal to be out of position? No, but I can't change the location of the button. If I could, I would, but I can't. They don't allow that. So he makes the call of 160. Everything's working out totally according to plan. Heads up. Here we go. Trying to flop a queen. With my luck, though, that's going to be impossible. Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. There's a queen. Ace, queen, 3. Hopefully I'm up against ace, king. So I fire out a teeny tiny bet. Less than 1/3 the pot. Just a little $100. Just gotta call and see one more card. And he said, the hell I do, and he folded. And that sums up my 2 days playing poker. In for a whole bunch, out for a little bit.
Like, what's that the poker song? You gotta know when to hold, know when to fold.
If I'm up, I'm up a little bit. If I'm down, I'm down a little bit. I'm hovering like right around here.
Never count your chips till the dealing's done. Right?
I don't know. Is that right?
I don't know.
Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the bell.